Drive Home with Maggie and Perloff. Afternoons 3 to 6 on WSKO Syracuse, a Cumulus media station. The voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Not quite a full house. Intern Braylon, he's out doing some work for Syracuse.com today, the CNS High School Media Day for the upcoming spring sports. So he's there working on that for the old .com. So it's just Josh and I today. Hey. Who knows where that's going to lead us?
Yeah.
Usually we have Braylon to somewhat keep the reins on us. Because,
the ultimate voice of reason.
Yeah, I think it's more so just we don't want to get too outrageous.
Yeah, for sure.
When he's around. But when the intern's away, the boys shall play.
Indeed.
So we'll see what happens today. Do have a large number of things to talk about.
Okay.
We've got Syracuse men's basketball.
Yep.
We've got Syracuse women's basketball.
Okay.
We've got Oswego men's basketball, LeMoyne's men's basketball.
All the basketballs.
So much basketball. It's hoop season.
Yeah.
This is March.
I am March.
I am March. And some baseball.
Okay.
Talk a little bit of baseball as well. Namely, Onondaga Community College, friend of the program, Bob Perino, head coach over there, the man. They had their first two games yesterday. They had a doubleheader, kicking off their season against SUNY Sullivan.
That's not a real school.
I've never heard of SUNY Sullivan.
That's not real.
We're a couple of SUNYAC grads, and I have never heard of SUNY Sullivan. I'm going to look that up right now.
How'd they fare?
Split the doubleheader.
Okay, we'll take those.
Yeah, lost first game 18-7. Bounced back for a 3-2 win in the second one.
Real gritty second game after an explosive first game.
I've also never heard of the town that SUNY Sullivan is in.
Sullivanville?
No, it's in Sullivan County, New York, which I'm
Okay.
assuming is in Long Island. I'll have to check that after this.
Ronkonkoma? Ronkonkoma?
No, it's not in Ronkonkoma.
It's the only town I know.
Loch Sheldrake.
Yeah, no, that's not real. Was that a...
Oh, it's near Albany, apparently.
Oh, thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Pat.
Well,
No, it's Pat. Yeah. I've never heard of this place.
Was that their regular season or spring training type stuff?
No, regular season kicked off yesterday.
Okay.
College baseball is in full swing. I mean, the D1 programs are like 2 weeks in already.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. So college baseball in full swing.
Love that.
Been watching my Arkansas Razorbacks a little bit. They got a doubleheader today.
Ooh.
Trying to remember who they're playing.
The Hogs? You love the Hogs.
I do love some Arkansas baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they've got their two aces going today. Hagen Smith and Brady Taggart.
Okay.
Taggart. It's like it's TY. So I say Taggart, but it's kind of pronounced both ways.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got a doubleheader against McNeese today.
McNeese State.
McNeese State.
Love
Absolutely. Jim says hit the like and subscribe button. He's always in the chat.
Early.
Yeah,
I love that. Jim.
We should. I need to remember to start the show every week.
Yeah.
By saying if you're listening on the Score 1260 airwaves, the Score1260.com, or the Score 1260 app, you can also listen and watch with a video feed. We got a camera set up right over there. Hi, camera. On twitch.tv/marker_box or the Score 1260 YouTube channel. I have changed the Twitch name 3 times since we started the show. We're keeping it a marker_box.
Okay.
Because that's just my Twitter handle.
Yep.
So it's the same as my Twitter handle, twitch.tv/marker_box.
Right.
And the Score 1260 YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Follow on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube. On YouTube, we do put up some bonus content every once in a while. Outside the Box Score extra innings.
Okay.
Last one was my 2024 Baseball Hall of Fame ballot, where I went through every single player on the ballot. And, of course, I did it in a tier list style.
Yes. I love the tier list.
Because I do love a tier list.
Got to follow Mark on Twitter too to get all the hot basketball hoop insider.
That
You're covering it live.
I have been on the road for the past 2 weeks,
Oh, yeah.
just covering hoop. Made 5 trips to Oswego to cover their men's basketball team, who sadly were eliminated from the NCAA tournament last weekend in a loss against Williams College, which was a absolute heartbreaker.
Those boys can play.
Those boys
For that game, but we certainly did.
Yeah.
We were talking a lot of smack.
Yeah, we were. We were like, what's Williams? I mean, come on. We're
big boys.
Big boys. I mean, Oswego was undersized at every single position.
Yeah.
And they played a good it was a great game.
Yeah.
From both sides, it was a fantastic basketball game. I gotta get his name.
The kid from Williams.
Not the kid. I want to shout someone out who I met at the Oswego Williams game.
Okay.
His name is Howard. Is his first name.
Big Howie.
I'm just trying to get his last name here because he was a really good guy. He was covering Williams. Howard Herman. He was covering Williams for the Berkshire Eagle in Massachusetts. He was there in Oswego. We got talking after the game, and he goes, I've watched a lot of Williams basketball this year, and this was my first time watching Oswego, and that should have been a Final Four matchup.
Yeah.
He goes, that is 2 elite teams at this level playing against each other. It was a shame it had to be in the round of 32. Williams did end up winning 79-77 on a game winner by Cole Prowett-Smith. Just a circus layup that found a way to go in. It was funny. The coach was talking after the game. I was in the post-game press conference, and Williams' coach talking about how during practice, Cole, this kid, loves to put spin on the ball on layups.
Okay.
He loves going up off the glass with a little English.
Yeah.
And he's always doing it in practice. He's always trying it in games. And coach has to be like, will you stop that?
Just put it on the
Just
board.
make a layup, And of course, that's how he makes this, is he just throws it up with side spin, and it goes off the glass and in. And after the game, he's like, I mean, it went in. I tried to stop him. He won't stop.
It's like that kid just shooting half quarters. And you're like, if you're not going to shoot it in the game, don't shoot it in practice. That was the great thing that I always heard.
Yeah, and then they shoot one in a game and make it. It's like,
all right, well.
All right, do it. Fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, he makes a circus shot. Oswego had a chance with 0.7 of a second left on the clock. They did get a 3-pointer off out of the hands of Jeremiah Sparks. Didn't fall. Sparks had a good game, 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. Akey Anderson, though, led the way for Oswego. Really, in their entire postseason run, he was great in the SUNYAC tournament, and then had 2 great games in the NCAA tournament. He had 25 points against Williams.
He a senior?
Akey is actually a junior.
Okay.
So he's coming back.
Okay. We got our star next year.
Yeah, he's going to come back as a senior. Jeremiah's done.
Yep.
He was a senior. And Jim, thanks for bringing it up. I was about to bring it up. Williams lost last night.
Oh.
Yeah, they ended up going down. It was Christopher Newport University.
The Newport.
The Newport.
100s.
Yep. The 100s took them down 60-49. So I checked that last night, and I was like, oh, of course, Williams goes on and loses. It's the thing. If you're gonna lose, you want to lose to the eventual champion.
Yep, and they lose in the next round.
Yeah, and they lose in the next round. I will say, and Coach Leone was very honest about this when I've talked to him the past couple of weeks. Oswego's defensive effort the past 4 games was not very good.
Yeah.
Oswego has a tendency, and they didn't really get much of a chance to do it against Williams. But they did in the game prior. They played in the tournament against Babson. They still ended up winning 74-63.
Yeah.
But they were up 37-25 at halftime.
Right.
So they're up 12 at the half and get outscored in the second half. Babson outplays them in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Leone said, when this team gets a lead, they do get a little complacent.
Yep.
And there were times, even in that Williams game, where they were up 6-7 points, and the defense lapses, and then Williams is right back in it. This wasn't really a team built to win tournament basketball.
Yeah.
Which sucks to say, but they sort of proved that. I mean, they didn't even win their conference.
Yep.
They ended up going down to New Paltz. New Paltz played a great game. I was there for that one. New Paltz was pretty much the entire second half just
I saw
the better team.
My understanding of from what the games I watched, again, I watched probably 3 or 4 of the games that you were at,
Yeah.
only parts of them, but they get really aggressive at times on defense. Force a lot of turnovers and sometimes, but other times you just get free baskets, so you're like, what are we doing here? Look, a lot of ball hawks out there.
They could not stop Williams from getting inside to save their life. And Williams, much bigger team. Yep. There's no doubt about it. They had this one guy, Nate Karen, who's 6'9", 230, and by the way, went 4 of 6 from deep.
Oh.
You can't guard that.
Stretches the court.
Like, he's 4 inches taller than anyone on Oswego. He's bigger. He can shoot. They fouled him a few times. He went 3 of 6 from the foul line. He had 8 boards. He was just a monster.
Yeah, that's insane height at this level.
Yeah, 6'9"?
Yeah.
You can't stop that. And same thing with in the Babson game, this guy Nate Amato for Babson, he was fluid with the ball. Seeing him with the ball in his hands, it almost looked like you were watching a D1 player at this level. He just moved that well with the ball. He had 28 and 13 boards. So these elite big guys Oswego was struggling with because they don't have the height or the size to guard inside. So guys are just getting to the rim at ease. That wasn't a problem they had in SUNYAC play, really.
Maybe we'll see that on the recruiting
I'd
love
to see Oswego get a dude that's just like
a 7-foot tall guy.
Yeah, he doesn't even have to be good.
Yeah. Just give him size.
Naheem McLeod, what are you doing? But just give him a massive dude to go down low. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Their NIL deal at Oswego would look like we'll give you an extra $20 credit and you get free Oswego sub shop.
I was about to say it's free sub shop. That's how you get people to go is all right, you get free sub shop and free Rudy's.
There you go.
And it's like, all right.
Rudy's is only available for 3 months you're here, but it's gonna be free when it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This has been bothering me as of late.
Okay.
Do you remember the place? Used to be on Bridge Street. The burger place.
Dino's House of Burgers.
Dino's. Thank you.
Yeah.
I've been trying to think of the name of that place for 2 weeks.
Yeah, got into a real blood battle with Billy. What's his name? The mayor.
Oh, Billy Barlow.
Yeah, they hated him.
Yeah,
because they wanted to close him. They had cited a violation or whatever, and they posted on Facebook like this stupid piece of poo. Like, I hate him. They just called out the mayor who writes these things. They're like, get the hell out of here. Yeah, I remember that. That place was good.
That place was great. Like because one of the days I was there, I was like, God, because they had mac and cheese too.
Yeah, it was fantastic. They did garbage plates.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
But yeah, I was there and I was like, oh man, what was that place called? That place was great. We used to get that once a week.
Note to self: don't get into a pissing contest with the mayor who writes your codes. They're gonna kick you out.
Yeah, and Dino's ended up closing. And now it's a good diner.
There's a diner there?
Yeah, Sherry's. It's called. Went there. I've been there a couple times. It's good.
Okay.
Reasonably priced too, which I appreciate.
Not the best diner in the area, but
no, that's true. That of course is Wade's.
Yes.
A couple weeks ago, I just randomly named a bunch of Oswego businesses, and I don't remember why on Twitter. Oh, it's because there was like a thing going around. It was like, what's the best D3 town?
Yes.
And I just listed like a bunch of things in Oswego. I was like, this is why. Sub shop and Rudy's and everything they have in Oswego. Bev's
ice cream.
Yeah.
Peanut butter sundae. You nearly suffocate putting that thing down with how much peanut butter they put in there.
We are giving away so many free ads right now.
Care.
I don't either.
Can we get Wade's? I swear to God, I'll pay them anything they want. I'll pay them for us to advertise. I love Wade's Diner.
You went like every Sunday, didn't you?
Every Sunday. They knew me. They knew my order. I mean, I could walk in and they just go, the usual. I go, yes, please.
What was the order?
It was a 3-egg bacon and cheese omelet with the home fries
Mhm.
and black coffee. That was it. It was fantastic. I love it. Oh, and the homemade cinnamon raisin bread.
Oh, their bread. My grandpa used to come up to visit me in Oswego.
Yeah.
Just so we could go to Wade's and get a bunch of bread.
Yeah. They make their own bread.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I love a place like that.
There's a couple places around here that serve Wade's bread.
It's that good.
Yeah.
Now this is a free advertising. This is just full advertising.
This is free advertising for Wade's Diner.
And it's a shed. It is a small shed right off. You'd never even know it, too, because it's just a little off the main stretch of 104.
Yep.
That you almost have to tell people, like, it's right there.
It's
in
there.
The cove. Yes.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, though. Truly the best. I mean, Maria's is fine. This Sherry's place sounds great. Wade's is the best.
Yeah.
Go there.
I agree. Go to Wade's.
Yeah.
Please pay us.
Please. I'm going to reach out to Wade. Wade's dead.
I was going to say, is Wade still around? I mean, Wade's has been open for 78 years. I don't know if Wade is still around.
Have you ever read the story? Now we're getting real into the deep.
Okay.
Have you read the story about Wade's?
No.
So it was on the other side.
Jim mentioned the old shed burned down.
That's right, Jim.
Yeah.
It was, but originally, so that's the location it was at now.
Mhm.
Originally, though, it was on the other end of Bridge Street.
Okay.
On the other end of 104. And they put it on, like, literally one of those truck beds that moves the entire house and stuff.
Yeah.
Oversized load. They had to wheel it down to the other end. I forget, there was some
Mhm.
loaning thing. They were going to take it, whatever.
Okay.
They just moved it and were like, no, we're here now. You keep that land. Who cares? And then they just set up here and we're like, we're still Wade's. There it is. They read it on the back of their menus. They have the whole story. It's better than how I just told it. It's
But they
wild.
just picked it up and moved it?
That's right. That's right. And then it did burn.
Yeah.
And now it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's the only place I've considered buying merch from, of like a restaurant that I go to. I love a mom and pop, and this is just a traditional mom and pop. It's fantastic.
I do have merch from a certain company that we'll get into in a little bit.
Okay.
But first, we're going to take a time out.
Yeah.
Phone lines open the entirety of the show, by the way.
Sure.
315-671-1260. That's 315-671-1260 if you want to call in and talk about very niche things like businesses in Oswego or Syracuse sports. What the show's actually about. It's actually about the random Oswego stuff. Let's be real. We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score on the Score 1260.
It's going on now. Move metal in March at McGuire Nissan in Ithaca and Syracuse. This is the sale you've
Full stash here.
Mr. Boheem, I have been growing out this mustache for like a month.
It's coming.
This is it. This is about as big as it's getting.
Mine just gets long. I'll agree with you. Mine just like gets into my mouth.
Yeah, mine like I got to trim it up because it's just starting to get into my mouth.
Yeah, but it never grows more. I don't get how people do that.
I went to take a sip out of a drink with a straw yesterday, and one of my mustache hairs was in the straw.
Yeah, I've found that sometimes when I eat sandwiches, I've been cooking up. I was cooking up some buffalo chicken sandwiches this week. And
delicious.
Yeah, fantastic. My best thing now is just getting a rotisserie and just making them into different things.
Oh yeah.
So I've been doing that though. I was eating mustache hairs. It's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this happens. As a guy who, again, I had to remind Emily, a picture came up on my Facebook today from 10 years ago of me in one of the musicals I did in high school.
Yep.
And she was like, "How old are you there?" What? Yeah.
People forget you're a musical guy. You are a thespian.
And I was like, "Yeah, I'm 15 there." And she was like, "Wow, you look like you could be 10." And I was like, "Yeah, I didn't hit puberty until I was in my senior year of college."
Mm-hmm.
People forget. That's why.
Yeah.
I didn't grow facial hair until I was 19,
this
20 years old.
This is all I got. This is all I can do.
I've been working for 5 years, and it's coming now, just about. Okay.
Yeah, I like your facial hair.
It needs a little trimming.
Yeah, it needs a little trim, but
you
got but it's a nice. You got a good shape. You got
a big spot here, but
yeah, but at least it's in the middle, so it's symmetrical.
Right. That's why I go chops. I'm thinking right now is the perfect time to just mess around and go chops. Just get all rid of this.
Yep.
Keep the stash and some big old mutton chops like The Rock circa 1999.
Can you connect the stash like
to the chop?
Yeah, to the chop. Just shave the chin.
Oh, I think I might be able to.
Because you got that little bit that goes down.
That could be something. Now we're
get the goose gossage.
A little handle. Yes.
The goose gossage.
Chops.
Yeah, chopped straight into the stash. Jim says major worries over the SU women. Things broke their way during the regular season with close games, etc. Yeah, we're going to talk about that, but they're a really good team who right now just has pretty bad luck, I think.
This could lend in their favor, though. I mean, obviously, you want a higher seed into the tournament.
Yeah.
But still, if you're a 5 seed or whatever, you still could get
For the
some
best
pretty
local
favorable
beer in
matchups.
Central New York, the only place you need to look
heading
is
in there. You
Myers
both
Creek
play a lot of
Brewing Company
really
with
top
16
talent
different
teams,
beers
so
on
they
tap
can
at
still make
both
a
the
run.
Inner Harbor and
Mm-hmm.
Syracuse.
Yeah, for sure.
They
Palace that
absolutely.
is
I mean,
the
they're still a
Casanova
tournament.
location.
So,
Myers Creek
like,
has
undoubtedly.
something for
So,
everyone.
They were ranked
Want a
majority
bite to
of
eat?
the season.
Both locations
Yeah.
feature a kitchen
Yeah.
with delicious pizzas, some of the
What'd they
best
get up to?
wings in Syracuse,
14,
and
17?
much more.
Make
Make sure to check out our friends at Myers
I wanna
Creek
say they were
Brewing
15
Company,
at
the
one point.
official bar of Outside the Box Score.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the score 1260. Talk a little bit of SU women's basketball. Number 20 Syracuse Orange fell in the ACC tournament last night to the Florida State Seminoles, 78-65. SU was never really in this game.
No, we were online
Yeah.
when it was going on. You were like, oh, boy.
Yeah, I was like, they're getting shellacked.
Yeah.
They were down close to 20 points at one point. It really was not their best performance. They've only had 7 losses this year. This is a very good team. Like I said, number 20 in the country.
Yeah.
With one of the best players in the country in Daisha Fair, who played a full 40 minutes last night, by the way.
Wow.
Wow. Never saw the bench.
Don't need to.
Don't need to. And
Your workhorse.
Daisha was, great. She had 23 points, 7 of 15 from the field, 7 of 11 from the free throw line, just doing what she does.
Yep.
But Syracuse, Jim brought it up in the chat during the break. He said things broke their way during the regular season with close games, stuff like that. And people, you got to remember, against Florida State earlier this year, Syracuse had an 18-point comeback and won.
Yeah.
So that was something that was in the back of everyone's heads yesterday. It's like, all right, we've done it before against this team. Stuff like that. That's not so much, things broke their way. You have to be a really good team to pull that off.
Yeah.
Pull off an 18-point comeback against anybody. You've got to be a good team.
Let alone twice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, let alone twice. But so I wouldn't say that's so much like things breaking their way. And they did, they had some fortunate wins during the regular season. And in the quarterfinals going down the ACC tournament, I thought this was a team that would have a chance to win the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, but this is still going to be a tournament team. When you've got a player of Fair's caliber on your team, you can always make a run.
I think they're in a decent shot to change some momentum because obviously, tough loss to NC State to end their season.
Yep.
And then, kind of getting the wheels run off them against Florida State. So you've had a couple of bad games here to end the year, but like I said, you're going to be a top 5, 6 seed probably in the tournament at least. You're going to get some good matchups first 2 rounds. Just if you can get a couple wins under your belt, this team gets hot again.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. I think they can literally beat, any team in the country when they play their good basketball.
When they're playing their best basketball, they absolutely can. We've seen them beat Louisville, who was ranked. We saw them beat Notre Dame, who was ranked. Florida State was ranked 15th when we beat them in that 18-point comeback. Actually, we beat Notre Dame twice this year. I forgot about that. Swept Notre Dame, usually a top 20 to top 10 team in the country. They've built a really great women's basketball program out there at Notre Dame. So, yeah, this is a team that can beat anybody when they're playing their best basketball. And, yeah, you get them a good, 15, 20-point win in the first round of the tournament. They get their confidence back. They get the mojo again. The team could absolutely go on a run. I'm not going to sit here and say Syracuse is going to win it all this year, but they can absolutely go on a run.
Yeah.
And maybe they play the likes of Iowa or someone like that. That'd be fun.
That'd be a real fun game.
Do you get 2 of the top 5 scorers in the history of women's basketball playing in one game? Daisha Fair versus Caitlin Clark. That'd be
one to watch.
They're just chucking.
Just heat checking each other.
Yeah. Speaking of, obviously Caitlin Clark broke another record last night. Now the all-time leader in 3-pointers made in a season. In men's and women's college basketball, she passed some guy that went to Davidson.
Seth?
No, it's Curry, maybe.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Stephen Curry.
Oh, his brother.
Yeah,
I always liked his brother.
Yeah, brother of Seth.
Yeah.
Steph Curry. Yes. Yeah, broke his single season 3-point record last night. So pretty good. Pretty good. You're a Curb guy, aren't you?
Big Curb guy.
Have you been watching the final season?
I have.
How was
I
it?
haven't. There's a it's still just classic Curb stuff. There's a weird
Rip Richard Lewis.
Yeah, he's in it, and it's it's odd too. The last episode they talked about like there was a gripe between him. He's like, I'm doing my will. Richard was saying this. I'm putting you in my will. So, and he's like, you want me to put you in my will? Is that what this is for? He goes, no, I'm just saying. He goes, you think I'm going to die before you? And I'm like, jeez.
Oh,
he died. Yeah, but no, it's very funny stuff.
Yeah. I should, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just one of those shows I've never, sat down and really given the time. It's same thing with Seinfeld.
You should give Seinfeld a shot.
Well, the other night for the first time, I just sat down and watched, the first season and a half of Seinfeld.
Get through the first 2 seasons.
But I still think they're great.
They're good.
Yeah.
But then it just gets better. It just gets so much better.
Pat says Seinfeld sucks.
Bad take, Pat.
Bad take.
Bad take.
But yeah, I watched the first 9-10 episodes of Seinfeld the other night.
Okay. Art Vandelay?
Yes.
Yes. Wants to be an architect.
Yeah, I can do the architect. I can do it. Come on. It was it was Corvalet. Yeah, it was Art Corvalet initially, and then he goes, yeah, Art Vandelay. And Jerry just looks at him like, what? I'm just, that show's very funny. Going back to sports, because we're going to keep going off on tangents, so we got to get the sports in when we can. Switching over to the men's basketball team, coming off an ugly, terrible loss against Clemson the other night.
How does this team do it? How do they convince us week to week? It changes every game.
Yeah.
One game you could go into it feeling like you're absolute nothings, and then you beat North Carolina at home.
Yep.
And then the next week you say, all we need is a win against Clemson. We came off a big win. Who'd they beat before that? Going into the Clemson game, was it NC State?
No, it's Louisville.
Yeah. You get the much needed win against Louisville. You win against Clemson, and then you're thinking you're probably in the tournament.
Yep.
And then you just never really in the game.
You lose by 15 and commit, in my opinion, maybe the dumbest play in the last 5 years of Syracuse basketball when they fouled Joe Girard on a 3 and he made it.
The 4-point play. That dude was getting riled up. He hates Syracuse.
He hates us so much.
Good for him. Good for him to leave and be like, no, I actually hate it.
Yeah.
I don't love my time there. You booed the hell out of me a couple weeks ago. I hate you people. Good for him.
You stink. I want to kill you. Yeah, and he had 21 points.
It's another one where
shot 4 of 7 from deep.
As you're watching, I'm also watching the Georgetown game. They were playing Providence, and it was a tale of 2 games. It was the same thing. You just never felt like you were in the game. I know that with Georgetown. Georgetown's bad. I watch them just because I have to, because I'm a sicko. Okay, but I watch Syracuse thinking maybe we got hope. They don't. They don't have hope. I was the only person, by the way, rooting for Syracuse and Georgetown every time they play. The only person doing that.
Yeah, you are the only person in the world doing that.
Yes.
It's just, I knew we weren't going to keep up with PJ Hall.
Sure.
That guy's a monster.
Sure.
I accepted the fact going in he was probably going to have 20 and 12. He actually only had 7 boards. It was that Shiflin, who had 16 rebounds. So
it was one of those games, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, where at halftime they were like the halftime stars, and the Clemson guys shooting like 60% or something.
Yep.
He's got 12 or 17 points. And Judah's our leading scorer with like 7 points in 3 of 15.
Yep.
And you're like, I just something's not working.
He finished 8 of 21, by the way.
Yeah. It's just when the shot's not there, there's gotta be another way on offense to score buckets when Judah Mintz can't perform.
Well, Justin Taylor was out there for 15 minutes. You know how many shots he took?
0. Yeah.
Now here's Justin Taylor's stat line: 15 minutes, 0 points, 0 shots, 0 free throws, 2 rebounds, a turnover, and a foul.
Did you out-rebound Chris Bell?
No, Chris Bell had 4. He's
Hey.
been rebounding a little bit better recently. He had 7 or something the other day, and it was like, whoa.
Wow. Kid's come alive.
Yeah, JJ's shot wasn't falling. He only played 27 minutes, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say he might have gotten into foul trouble. He didn't have a single foul in the game, so he was the only Syracuse player without a foul. Quadir was great.
Yeah.
He had 17 points, 3 of 6 from deep. I saw that. So when I checked the box score the other day, Syracuse bench went 6 of 10 from behind the arc.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. Kyle Cuff went 3 of 4.
Okay.
And Quadir Copeland went 3 of 6. The only two players that come off the bench for Syracuse.
Yeah.
The starting lineup
Oh, boy.
went 2 for 12.
Yeah, that's not great.
That's not good. That's not good.
You watched the game. Are these uncontested, or are they just throwing up bad shots?
Judah just throws up shots.
Yeah.
Usually when he takes a 3-pointer, he's also trying to draw a foul, which annoys the hell out of me. How are you trying to draw a foul on it's an open 3-pointer and you're like leaning forward,
doing the leg thing?
Yeah, doing the leg thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just take the shot. It infuriates me.
Yeah. It's the exact opposite of Quadir. Like,
yeah,
I always watch Quadir to be like, this guy's great. I can't imagine what he's going to do. And with Judah, it's like, I know what he's going to do.
And
it's
annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he just chucks weird 3-pointers, and I'm like, he needs to learn how to shoot without expecting contact.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with a lot of stars in any like NBA, college, whatever. There's a lot of people just looking for the fouls these days, and it's just like, dude, just play the game.
Just play
Especially if you're not getting the calls. The game a couple weeks ago where we were talking about it, we just kept driving, and they clearly weren't calling fouls. So
they didn't
getting upset.
They didn't call anything.
Yeah,
and so he's just getting mad that they're not calling the fouls, but still driving and expecting him to call a foul. Make an adjustment, dude. They're not going to call it. Kick it out.
Yeah. Coach got to get in his ear on that one.
Yeah.
I think we're giving too much slack on Judah here. We're like, again, as I talked about, like he knows he's the best player on the team.
Well, I've always, I give it to him because if you're Adrian Autry, you can only do so much.
That's fair.
I'm assuming they've had this conversation at some point.
Throughout 30 games.
Throughout 31 games,
Yeah.
Adrian Autry has said to Judah Mintz, hey,
basketball.
Maybe kick it out to Chris Bell when he's open in the corner. Just consider it.
Right.
It's on the player to actually implement what the coach is telling him to do.
Yeah.
So listen, if Red Autry hasn't had that conversation with Judah Mintz, maybe that's an issue as well.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that's been brought up at some point.
That's a fair point. 30 games of the season. Yeah.
Like Chris Bell played 37 minutes and took 4 3-pointers. That's not enough for me.
Yeah.
He should be taking 8 a game.
That's his shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Just let him take 8 3-pointers a game. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
He finished with 7 points in 37 minutes.
As a starter.
As a starter.
Yeah.
Like, he took 6 shots the entirety of the game.
Yeah.
That's not enough. We've seen the guy make 8 consecutive 3-pointers in a game.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he only taking 6 shots in the entirety of the game?
I don't know. Maybe he wasn't feeling it.
Just shoot, man. Yeah. It's like Justin Taylor.Hy do you not have a single shot?
I don't know. Unselfish play. Just loves to move the ball around.
Didn't have an assist. We're gonna take a timeout. Did absolutely nothing. We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score on the Score 1260.
That is a gross.
That
is
so
so hairy.
Yeah.
Ugh. That much chest hair is crazy to me. How do you not shave that down? The girl like that?
There's no way.
There's no way. I had my roommate in college. He'd have to have his girlfriend shave his back for him.
Ugh.
They hated it so much. He'd have like that weird shoulder.
Oh,
hair.
yep.
Yeah, he'd need that shaved and stuff, and his girlfriends would do it for him because they just hated it. And I'm like, oh, you're a gross, hairy man. It's
Pat says, Mark, should I start drinking now? Only if you're drinking a delicious beer from Myers Creek Brewing
That's right.
Company. Yeah, I mean, what do you got going on today? We obviously got college basketball all day. So
there are so many sports on today.
Oh, it's fantastic.
So many sports.
You got the Arnold Palmer Invitational.
Who's playing in that one?
Everyone.
AP?
Yeah.
Is he back?
Yeah. The King is back.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. I was looking through just to find, like, whatever. There's so many preseason games or spring training games on. All 175 basketball games. It feels like the PGA is just weird to me now, dude. I really can't watch.
It's a great leaderboard this week.
Well, yeah, Wyndham, Scheffler, Harmon. This is good.
Yeah, this week is the first leaderboard going into the weekend where I was like, okay, this is the group that we want to see.
Also, Indian Wells going on right now, tennis tournament, big
tennis
tournament. Where I think Rafa, I don't know if Rafa withdrew. He was supposed to be playing Raonic in the first round, but he also did that stupid. Did you see the thing on Netflix he did where he did an exhibition against Alcaraz?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, where he lost in the third set.
Yeah.
But so I don't know if he even he got canceled. He withdrew because he played in that thing. What an idiot.
If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse. Are you laughing because I started to put up a microphone for no one?
I did.
Just have it, man, and just go down the line, and then mic 2 would have been on for no one to speak into.
I actually had to think to myself, I'm like, I've been hearing myself, right? Like, if I've been talking, has it been going out? I've been talking.
I just haven't put your microphone up the entire time.
Thank God.
Yeah. I do want to circle back to a conversation we were having earlier. You were talking about Wade's Diner.
Oh, is that actually what we're going to?
That's actually what we're going to, because you said it was the only place that you would consider buying merch from.
Yeah.
And I thought about the fact that, the few pieces of merch I have from our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company.
Oh.
A couple hats, the shirt. Like,
they do have good merch. I love their logo.
They've got
simple.
It's simple. It's great. They've got great merch. You can buy it at either the Cazenovia or Inner Harbor locations when you stop in and have one of the 16 craft beers on tap.
So many options.
Velvet Fog, Floating on By. They're all fantastic. And
are you a koozie guy? You like a koozie on a hot day?
I like a metal koozie.
Ooh.
I've got one of the Yeti koozies.
Yep.
That thing.
Because that actually does the trick.
No free ads, obviously.
Sure.
I got this playing in a golf tournament last year.
Okay.
And it was like part of the tee gift.
Yep.
And I used it that day, and I was sitting there, I had my beer, and I just, sometimes you're playing golf, you sort of forget you have a drink. And I let my beer sit there for maybe 45 minutes before I even took a sip.
That's crazy.
And thanks. But my beer was just sitting there, and so I had forgotten about it, and I go to take a sip.
Yeah.
Ice cold. I was like, this is fantastic.
I normally find the koozie to be unnecessary in myself. I mean, I do like it for the idea that you get to kind of specialize, what you put on your beer. You get to show off if there's a cool design or something, but generally I find that it really doesn't do what it's designed to do. That's it. But they got great merch. Hoodies, sweaters, maybe. I'm interested to see what Mark actually has from them. I've seen him wear the polo. You wear the polo before, right, from there?
No, I've never worn a polo. I've got a T-shirt and a couple hats.
Okay. Nice.
The hats are fantastic. I'm not usually a trucker hat guy, the ones with the mesh in the back. But I've got one from them, and I love it. It's because it's like a softer mesh.
Yes.
It's like it's really breathable. Like it's a maroon hat. It's really, really sharp.
I've got 2 trucker hats that I will accept. I have a Knicks hat because I thought I was a Knicks fan for a year, as you'll remember.
I remember.
At Julius Randle.
Yep.
Ruined my Knicks fandom. And then, thanks, Julius. Go Sixers. And Team Solo Mid one.
Oh,
video
okay.
game.
Yeah.
Video game esports team that is no longer in existence.
Yeah. You are an esports guy.
That's right, Fatty.
I love when you bring the fatty out on the air because
Yeah.
people listening are like, "Is he just calling him fat?"
Yeah, I'm the one calling Mark DeFat. That's what's going on here. You heard right.
That is just so that people know, that is a sort of a term of endearment among our friend group, as we all just call each other that.
My girlfriend does not get it. When people call, when she's like, when we're on Discord and somebody's like, "What's up, fatty?" to me, and she's like, "They're so mean." I'm like, "No, it's good. We're fine."
That's it's
They
just a
love
thing
me.
we call each other for some reason. You're the one that started it.
Yeah, it's a Norman thing. I steal.
Oh yeah, that's right. It is a Norman thing.
Yeah.
And we do love ourselves some Mark Norman. Before we keep talking about Myers Creek Brewing Company, by the way, I am going to jump over to the phone lines. We've got Bernie from Blue Mountain Lake joining us. Bernie, what's going on?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good. What's on your mind, my friend?
Well, I had a very good friend come into town with his grandson. He's a ex-SU athlete and retired Navy SEAL.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
And we had lunch, and the grandson asked me if I watched a lot of SU basketball. And I said, not too much. I've really been busy. And his grandfather SEAL said, watching SU basketball is like watching old people in assisted living eating applesauce. And I just
that's pretty good.
I had to leave. I ran out of the room laughing, but
yeah, that's a pretty good one. It's painful. It hurts.
And then the grandson had one other question, and he's shaped up kid.
Mm-hmm.
He's homeschooled. He just got 1100 on his SATs. He's 12 years old.
Okay.
But, he said, when does Judah Mintz and all those other guys, when do they do their homework, and what courses are they taking, like architecture or engineering? And again, the grandfather just burst out laughing. And looked at him and said, do you think these guys actually do homework?
Listen, underwater basket weaving is a very intensive course, Bernie.
It's my favorite.
Oh my God! A lot of dexterity though with underwater basket.
Absolutely,
It's a good role model. Shows if you're good enough at a sport, kids, you don't ever have to do homework.
There you go. But listen, thank you for the vine, and stay safe.
Yeah, have a good weekend,
too,
Bernie.
You too.
All right, there he is, Bernie in Blue Mountain Lake. That's a good one. It's like watching old people in a home eating apples.
It's just sad sometimes.
Yeah. It's sad. It's painful. It's just a joke.
How many games, assuming they don't get the bye anymore, right? Because Clemson gets it.
Yeah.
How many games do they need to win in the ACC tournament? Do they have to win it, or does it depend on who they play?
I mean, the answer is no less than 2.
Yes.
And you might have to beat you will have to beat a Duke, North Carolina, Virginia. Like, it's got one of them has to be that caliber of team.
Does Wake Forest matter?
No.
Okay, it's got to be one of those 3.
Yeah, it's got to be one of those 3.
So
or Clemson. I honestly, if they play Clemson again and beat them, that helps. But you're already down 0-2 to them.
Because first round they might get like a Georgia Tech or someone like that, whatever. Then they probably get Clemson again.
Yeah, I've got to check and see how the bracket's looking right now.
Because Clemson now will get the bye as a top 4, right? I'd imagine.
Yeah.
It'd be Duke.
Yeah,
UNC,
they would get the
Clemson.
Yeah, they get the double bye. Which Syracuse was in possession of briefly.
Yeah. If they would have beat Clemson, they probably have it.
Yeah, we would have. Yeah, I think that might have clinched it for us. I gotta see if I can find,
because the season's not technically over, so it won't be completely finalized. But you can kind of map out who the garbage teams are you might play early on.
Yeah, I gotta see if I can find what the bracket looks like right now.
Yeah,
which I should be if this link ever loads. Just waiting on the little circle there.
Right.
While we're waiting, go back to what we were talking about. Our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company.
Okay.
If you do stop by
Yep.
either location, Cazenovia or the Inner Harbor in Syracuse, the Palace out there in Cazenovia, you would find delicious beer and delicious food. I mean, pizzas, award-winning wings,
big old pretzel.
Love
a
the
big
pretzel.
At
I
a brewery,
love pretzels.
Give me also odd take. don't screw me with this mustard. Okay, give me a beer cheese.
Oh, only beer cheese.
Yeah, keep the whole
thank
grain
you.
mustard. Keep it to yourself. I don't even want it. Give me 2 beer cheeses.
Thank you. I'm
That's
the
right.
exact same way. Pretzel, double cheese.
Sure.
Don't need the mustard.
Yeah.
They do have a great pub pretzel there.
Yeah.
Big soft pretzel, delicious. And at least at the Inner Harbor location, they've still got this mac and cheese, which is to die for.
Now, an uncommon take with the pretzel. We had a similar
Mhm.
take. I look like a weirdo. You were talking about Seinfeld earlier. I'm
Mhm.
kind of like the Costanza with the Snickers bar, eating with a fork and a knife. I will eat a pretzel with a fork and a knife because I can't. It's too greasy. My hands. I don't understand. It's too much.
It depends on the pretzel.
Yeah.
If it is like really buttery and
Yeah,
it's getting all over the hands, yeah, I might cut it up into some pieces.
Yeah.
But if it's just like an average amount of butter and oil on it, I'm definitely picking it up and dipping it.
Good on you.
Yeah.
I got to go to the bathroom right after, wash my hands. It's a real thing. It's
Mhm.
a real thing for me.
That makes sense. But hey, it doesn't matter in Myers Creek if you eat it with your hands, with a fork and a
With your
knife.
feet. I've seen it done.
Go for it. If you want to try that, why not?
Yeah, great dexterity. Birdie said that word earlier. It's in my head still.
Dexterity.
I can do it. That'll be our next extra inning. Somebody eat a pretzel with my feet.
We're gonna have to charge for that one. But yeah, check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company.
Mhm.
They're all the delicious beers, all the delicious food.
Yeah.
Been a good friend of this show.
Can't say enough good things.
Can't say enough good things about them. And we're gonna take a time out. You're probably gonna hear an ad for them coming up shortly. So
Still not up?
what?
That link's still not up?
No.
Take another break.
We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score.
For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Hi, I'm Joe Serio.
Pat, thoughts on Mookie Betts playing short for the Dodgers? I think it'll work. He's a tremendous athlete. He played well. Yeah, he's going to be the starting shortstop this
Why
year.
wouldn't? Who's at second?
Gavin Lux.
Oh,
Because they were trying Lux out at shortstop this spring.
Yeah.
And the defense was not there.
Okay.
So they.
Mookie's just a freak.
Yeah, he's a ridiculous athlete.
Yeah.
And he did well at second base last year, and he came up as a second baseman.
Yep.
People forget the guy was an infielder. I think he's just that good where I think he'll be able to play shortstop in the big leagues at a pretty high level.
Yeah.
He's got 16 games at short in his career, all last year, I believe. And based on that, in small sample size, sure. It seems like he'll be able to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that roster, you just find a spot for him.
Yeah.
That's fine. The Dodgers are freaks.
Oh, yeah.
Their whole lineup is. I mean,
I hate them.
What is their mark to win? Has anyone been a minus ever odds in baseball to win it all?
I can't.
Can't imagine that, but they got to be the odds-on favorite.
They are.
Right?
Yeah, I think they're like
plus 250.
I was gonna say 300.
Yeah.
Let's get it up on
Braves next, probably.
Yeah, it's Dodgers Braves, I believe.
Braves made a big signing this year in the offseason. A couple of them, right? They Chris Sale.
Yeah, they got Sale from the Red Sox.
Chris Sale. You still love him or what?
I mean,
there's a special spot in your heart, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, he struck out Manny Machado to win us World Series. Like that's yeah, Dodgers are plus 320, Braves are plus 450.
Yeah.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the score 1260. We were just talking during the break about Mookie Betts playing shortstop for the Dodgers this year. He's going to be their starting shortstop. And we were talking about the Dodgers' odds to win the World Series. They're currently a plus 320. Jim brought up in the chat, what do you think South Carolina's at to win the national championship in women's basketball?
Ooh, they're pretty damn good. But LSU's out there. Iowa. I'd guess South Carolina's probably plus 150.
Minus 130.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems oddly high.
Hey, whenever it's minus odds, I don't care if it's the
Yeah.
championship weekend. Like, come on.
That's a crazy hedge spot, by the way. Anyone who thinks they win it, just bet them now at this, and then in the championship game, they're certainly going to be favorites. You take the dog.
Yeah.
You can hedge out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a crazy odd.
Yeah. Minus 130 is
before
absurd.
The tournament even starts.
Yeah, we're in conference tournament play.
I mean, LSU, Iowa, there's a handful of good teams out there. We talked about Syracuse earlier, Notre Dame. I mean,
they were plus 800 in November.
Wow. Is Jim keeping track of NCAA women's? How do you know that, Jim?
He is a big women's basketball guy. But, Jim, do you have South Carolina at plus 800? Because if so...
I'll root for the Gamecocks. Let's go.
Well done, my friend. Because
their coach is great down there. I forget her name, but she's awesome.
He says Jim may have invested in plus 800. Attaboy, Jimmy!
I love the third person.
I know.
Jim might have a ticket for that.
Jim maybe got in on the plus 800. We should, one of these weeks, I think we should do sort of like a throwback to our old version of Outside the Box Score.
Just a pure gambling show?
Just not even pure gambling, because that show was barely about gambling.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was about anything that was on our minds. I mean, we would talk gambling, but yeah, we should do that one of these weeks.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, just look at the slate. I mean, the problem is we probably should have done it during college basketball season.
I mean, what better time than coming up?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, yeah, maybe we'll do it
Saturday.
Saturday of the tournament. We can have a big gambling show.
Yeah,
because that is people don't know that's how this show started. We were on an app called Colorcast, which I don't believe is around anymore.
Nope.
Those guys were scam artists.
Correct.
And
had a really cool concept though.
Oh, it was a great concept. I really did like the concept. It was just run by jerks. And we just had a gambling show. It was actually at the same time. It was Saturday at 11.
Yep.
And it was called Outside the Box Score, where we just looked at lines and gave picks and kept track week to week. And
we talked about a lot of different stuff.
One time we did an hour on solitaire.
That's right. I guess
Josh learned how to play solitaire.
Yeah, I thought I knew solitaire. I watched a lot of Spider Solitaire. To people out there who don't know, it's different.
Yes, it's much different. We had a friend teach Josh how to play solitaire,
and it only took me an hour to learn. I probably was driving while doing it. That's not important. But
no, I think you were somewhere for that. You were.
Oh yeah, it's very good stuff.
Yeah. Jim says plus Masters gambling talk could be soon too.
Yeah. Are they going to let the live guys play?
Well, I mean, Joaquin Neiman got a special invitation.
About time. That dude balled out last week. I was watching him.
He's won like 4 times this year.
Yeah, he's on something. I don't know what happened to Joaquin Neiman, but it's his time.
I mean, he's always been really good. It's just he's struggled in like the majors.
Yeah,
it has been his problem. But I was so mad when he went to live. He was one of the guys that I loved watching. He's such a striker of the ball.
Especially for a guy like him, though. I mean, what's the cheapest live contract out there? $1 million? I mean, half a mil?
What'd they give Chase Koepka?
Right. What's Gooch getting? What's Taylor Gooch
No,
getting?
because he would have gotten more.
You think he's good?
Yeah, because he was on fire here in the States for a while, so he would have gotten more. Yeah, no, it's Chase Koepka.
Yeah.
Because I think they released him. I don't even think he's on live anymore. I think they were like, we don't have room for you. You stink.
I'll tell you, some of so it's weird because I watched it for the first time last week because it was on Sunday and the Pebble was or not Pebble. Was it Pebble last week? No, the Cognizant class.
Yeah, no, Cognizant. PGA National.
By the way, people have stole my jobs. Screw them.
Oh, really?
That's the company that we outsourced to. Thanks, Dad.
Wow.
And so, but I was watching Live for the first time, and it's odd. The team rankings make it so much more interesting, but also it doesn't at the same time because you're like, oh, Neiman's scoring, Neiman's gonna win it.
Yeah.
But then Team Smash or whatever Bryson's was, they went like 22 under on Sunday between the 4 guys. They all just balled out, took the lead. It was like they're like, this is the biggest comeback in live history, and I'm like, So who won? The
In a
team
year?
or the guy? Yeah, exactly. But I'm like, who wins? Do we celebrate both?
Both.
That's kind of stupid. I'd almost rather just either screw the winner and just play the team. I don't know.
Pat says Live is actually a lot of fun to watch. People don't want to admit it. I hate the music.
I can't. They turned it. I think people have been talking about it because it's down.
Is it down?
It.
Okay.
It was like in the background
because
for sure.
The first couple times I tried to watch it, this music is like blaring.
Yeah,
and
no, it's definitely down.
That really annoyed me. And I don't love their broadcast crew.
Yeah.
Which is part of it. I think Faraday is really good as like a talk show host.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love him as an analyst. I don't like the play-by-play guy that much either.
It was kind of a good job of like I imagined it coming from a wrestling idea of like this being the second. I was thinking they'd just push stars that you knew. Like I think I'd only see Brooks Koepka and DeChambeau
their
and Mickelson.
coverage isn't bad.
Yeah, the coverage. I was seeing guys. I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize this guy was with Liv.
Yeah,
okay. And he's balling out.
Yeah, the coverage they actually do a decent job of.
I saw
so
Mickelson
I give him credit for that.
On Sunday, he was like tied for 10th. I saw Mickelson play one hole.
Yeah,
in the Sunday round, and I saw Neiman on every hole. I mean, he was the leader, obviously, but it's crazy.
All right, yeah, that's a little bit of golf talk as well. We've got to take one more time out, come back, wrap things up here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
We're heating up spring at Hyundai.
Liv does have the biggest scoreboard in the world.
It is nuts. Emily had been on this thing to get free internet through some government programming thing, whatever.
That's going to be so slow.
No, it was fantastic.
Really?
She's been doing it. So since she's lived there for like 3 years, she's just had free internet. Never had to worry about it. She just got an email that said like the funding was lost. They got rid of it. So
now you got to buy internet.
I'm like, good luck with that, honey. I don't live there. I'm not paying bills. I buy groceries every time I'm there. That's it.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah.
On point.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a job.
Broke.
We were at a brewery the other night for a beer bing, and somebody doing a guest call for bingo. They were like, hey, and here's Lindsay, whatever. She's unemployed, looking for a job. Here we go. Maybe someone here can get her a job. They go to her an hour later. They go, Lindsay, recently employed. Because I was like, you work for the brewery.
Yeah.
Just give her a job here. She's like, recently employed at the brewery. And I'm like, yeah, okay, great. Good job, pal.
And we're back, wrapping up another eventful hour here on Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Jim says we're in for some snow coming up tomorrow.
I saw that.
Yeah, it was so funny. I went and checked the weather on my phone yesterday, and I see 60 and sunny, winter storm watch. I'm like, what the hell, man?
That's Syracuse.
Can we just get 2 days in a row? That's all I want. Back-to-back days where it's like 65 and sunny. Yesterday was absolutely gorgeous. Wake up today, it's 47 degrees and raining.
Now, in these weird pockets, though, both of us were able to get out and play our first round of golf this year.
That is true. I played on Monday. You played on Wednesday, was it?
That's right.
Or
Thursday, yeah.
Or Thursday, yeah. You had a cart. I didn't.
I walked.
Oh, did you walk?
Carts were available. The guy with me walked, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not that fat. I mean, if the guy you're with is like, I'll walk, you're like, I'm not taking the cart.
Flat course, hilly course?
Pretty flat.
Pretty flat.
Yeah. Only 9 holes. I can do 9.
I was walking at Bellevue and
pretty hilly.
Yeah.
That's tough.
When I'm walking that course, it's
nightmare.
brutal. Yeah.
There's definitely holes that I can imagine there being an absolute nightmare.
Yeah. And the fifth hole, the
there's
par
fifth hole that
5 up
goes up?
up the hill, and there Jim says walking is good for you. Yeah, I know, but when you don't do it much.
That's what the doctors tell me, Jim.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
But yeah, it was great to get out again. Very excited for golf season this year. This is the year. I'm trying to get down to a single digit handicap. We're gonna see if I can do it.
I might try lefty this year. I'm really switching things up.
That might help you. It could help
Can't
you.
hurt.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thanks to Bernie for calling in, Pat, Jim, all those guys in the chat for being here. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 11 a.m., right here on the Score 1260. Peace.
Listen on radio, smart speakers,